What's up, people? It's Natasha Varela, the Moneyista, 20 years in audit, accounting, and tax, 13 in the large business and international division of the Internal Revenue Service, examining large entities that report 10 million or more in gross receipts and our assets. So let's talk to my business owners. I don't talk to you guys enough, but we're going to start talking to you guys a lot. What are some important things that as a business owner you need to know? One, you're going to have to cut the check. What do I mean? A lot of business owners, they skimp on expenses thinking that, they're protecting their savings. That's not the case, right? The tax code favors business activities and it rewards for business activities. So you want to cut the check. You want to invest in things. I find that a lot of business owners, they don't invest enough in advertising. They're afraid of, pumping money into things like ads, which are effective, right? And not only that, they're legitimate, okay? You need to pump money into your business. You need to pump money into that equipment. The misconception is that if you don't put the money into your business, is that you're going to have it in your savings, when the fact is the government is counting that money as ordinary income that's coming from your paycheck, and you're going to be taxed on it, right? So it's better to go ahead and pump the money into your business. For most startups, it doesn't cost that much, right? A domain name doesn't cost a lot. Web hosting space doesn't cost a lot, and you should have a website. You should have web presence. It's important to solidify yourself as a business by having web presence. That's one of the things that and I always speak from an examiner standpoint, because we're looking as examiners. I'm a former revenue agent, not a current one, but we're always looking at how to justify your business as a hobby and not legitimate business, so that we can remove all your expenses and tax you on just the income, right? That's just what it is. You need a business credit card. I know a lot of people, they don't have really good credit, but if you're going to start a business, you need to start working on your credit, okay? I use Experian Boost. I use the Experian app. I particularly don't like Credit Karma, okay? I use Experian. I pay for the credit monitoring. And I pay, I get Experian Boost. I link all my, all of my bank accounts to Experian so that I can record all my on-time payments, and it boosts my score a lot. It actually, for most people, it boosts your score within minutes of linking your accounts, right? So you want to work on your personal credit because your personal credit will likely be tied to your business credit, okay? It's very rare that the business owner that's starting out will get business credit right away. So you do need a business credit card, and you most certainly need a business bank account. All you need is to form your LLC, right? For most people, it's an LLC. Okay, an S Corp is a tax designation. An LLC is a business designation. So you form your LLC, right? Your business name. You can do that on your state Secretary of State website. And most of the time it can be done online, and you get your articles of incorporation or organization right away. You take that, you go to the IRS website and get your EIN for free. That paperwork, along with your ID, down to your local bank, open up a business bank account. Doesn't take long. If you don't have a business bank account, again, the IRS will deem your activity as a hobby. You need to solidify yourself as a business. Stop just using every credit card you have randomly and putting business income into your personal bank account. It needs to go into a business bank account. I cannot stress this enough. That is one of the biggest mistakes business owners make when starting out. You have got to separate your activities, okay? Now, if you are a business owner and you are making significant amount of income, okay, one way to avoid self-employment tax, right, is to take your LLC and designate what we call S Corp status, subchapter S. All it does is allow you to pay yourself a salary, and it removes self-employment tax. S Corps don't pay self-employment tax. The catch is that you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary. What is reasonable? You have to go against metrics, industry metrics, right? I use BizStats, B-I-Z, Stats, BIZSTATS.com. You plug in your information, you plug in your sales, and you can see what the industry averages for your type of business. You do have to select your business, right? Your business industry, and you can see what to pay yourself. If you don't pay yourself a reasonable salary, the IRS will say, "Hey, it looks like you're just trying to avoid self-employment tax." and they will go ahead and make the adjustment on your return. Okay. 2, know the definition between employees and contractors. Okay. A lot of us want to hire our family members. If you pay them consistently, if your income or their pay from you and your company is the only pay they have and that's used to survive, they're considered an employee for all intents and purposes. They're not a contractor. Okay. If they're not LLC themselves, particularly, they're considered an employee. What happens if you miscategorize, a person as a contractor instead of an employee, trying to avoid employer taxes? The IRS can recategorize those contractors as employees based upon the frequency you pay them, what they do, how dependent they are on you, how dependent you are on them, and you will have to pay back all those employer taxes, okay, for whatever years you got away with it. What do I use for my payroll company? I use Gusto, and I'll drop the referral link. You'll get a $100 gift card with my link. Gusto is easy to use. Link your business bank account, not your personal, and run payroll. You don't have to run it all the time. You can run it as you get income, okay? As long as you run payroll. Okay, you can run it manually. You can put it on autopilot. You can control it. They also allow for you to pay contractors, your 1099s, which is awesome because as a person who doesn't want to manually do 1099s, they do it for me. Okay, they mail out the 1099s for me. Okay, and they deliver them to my contractors for me, right? Easy peasy, right? So, because if you don't issue the 1099s on time, you can be penalized. Okay, so that's something that I encourage. Do not do payroll yourself. Payroll is not transferring from your business account to your personal account. That is the owner's draw. Payroll is when actual payroll, employer taxes and employee taxes come out and are remitted to the government for you. And you can, again, do that through payroll. I use Gusto. So as far as tax planning, I use over-the-counter software. My students use over-the-counter software because the tax laws rarely change for business owners and real estate investors drastically. It's good because you can plug in your personal information, right? It's personal. Everybody's situation is personal. Your salary is different from mine and theirs. And, you may have kids. Somebody else does not have kids. So we go with software when we plan. So when we plan, we learn to prepare, right? And then we get comfortable with the software and we start understanding the tax code and how to apply it and plan for our individual situations, right? It's top of the year now. My students are starting to track, right? They're taking all of their business activity, putting it on one credit card. Okay. All of their business income going into one bank account, right? And this is per business. This is not if you have 6 businesses going into one account, right? This is per EIN, employer identification number. And we're using that and tracking our tax liability every month. Okay. And this is how you manage it, right? This is how you know, hey, I'm going to owe the IRS 10 grand. I better pump that 10 grand into advertising. I don't have 10 grand. Well, you're going to have it when it's time to pay the tax man. You're going to have to put it somewhere. Otherwise, they're going to penalize you and start an interest. Either way, you are going to have to cut the check. So cut the check to yourself. Put it on that credit card, your business credit card, right? That's just how it goes. For tracking my real estate professional status, I have my notes here so that I don't miss anything. And real estate professional status is important when you invest in real estate. Business owners, you can purchase real estate too and offset your business profits. I use Reps Tracker. I will drop the link in the description box. And guys, get on my email list. It's so much easier. www.themoneynista.com. So I use Reps Tracker. I upload all my evidence, my emails, any discussions I have with my lender, my attorney, my realtor, my agent, my tenants, anything, inspections, inspector, appraisals, things of that nature. So those are just some tools that I use and why it's important. A lot of my students use MileIQ to track their mileage. I just do the standard mileage rate. It's just easier. You don't have to. You can track it if you want to. And, go the manual route. That's up to you. And that's the same thing with real estate professional status. You can go the manual route, do Excel, keep folders. I just use Reps Tracker. It's easier to upload and keep everything in one portal. And it produces a report which has all the links to your documents, right? Because you have to have evidence of the time you spent in rental activities. So for my business owners, please, 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 please separate everything. Please, if you don't do anything else. File those returns even in the beginning. If you have losses, those losses offset your ordinary income. Okay. And cut the check. Put the money into your expenses, right? Get that new computer, that ring light, get the camera, pay for advertising, pay for graphic design. If you don't cut it for yourself, you're going to cut it to somebody else, and it's called Uncle Sam. All right. So just so you know,